Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. Today we're going to be looking at a armor. I'm actually only 2 armors away from completing the entire Unique Armors line. I believe the only other armor that I have left is the Steel Carapace, which could be next. The Spirit Forged Linked Mail is one of these, and it's 449 defense. It is a Nightmare level unique. It is a exceptional level unique, whichever way you want to look at it, and it is actually pretty sweet on level. So on the level of level 35, which is when you can use this item, it's actually a really, really nice armor to put on your character. It only requires 74 strength, which most characters by level 35 have, and it has some other really nice statistics on it. And let's go over them, shall we? So right off the bat, you see that it adds 20 to 65 fire damage, and that is static. And at level 35, when you actually put the armor on, it's actually not bad. And you could potentially utilize this on a enchant sorceress, a bow Amazon using exploding arrow, because the fire damage actually transfers into the exploding arrow and multiplies, which would definitely be a big boon for those lower level characters who are using exploding arrow. We also have 160% enhanced defense on here, which does vary from 120 to 160, and the defense can go as low as about, I think it's like 380. We also have a very nice plus 15 to strength on here, which could maybe help you put on a bow or a crossbow or something, or maybe a helmet or something that has a rather high strength requirement. It's definitely a nice little bonus, although usually the highest strength piece of equipment that you wear is your body plate. But if you're in a situation where that's not the case, this could be the armor to help you boost your strength a little bit. It also can come in really handy for mercenaries, because you take that 15 strength and put it on the merc, and now your merc can now suddenly wear some more helmets and weapon options that he couldn't before. We also have a very nice life based on character level of 1.25 per character level up to level 99, of course, which is 123. Now, on level, when you find this thing, or rather when you put it on at level 35, it's going to be like around 40-50 life. It's not bad. And because mercenaries don't have vitality, life is actually the preferred thing for mercenaries, and it works great on them to help keep them alive. We also have a very mediocre and pathetic fire resist 5%. I'm not really sure why they did 5% fire resist. Why not 10? Why not 15? You know, why not 1%? I mean, if you're going to go 5, why not just give me 1% fire resistance and just really stab it in the knife? We also have plus 4 light radius, which they love to put that on everything, I swear. The ethereal version also is in existence, and it does have a very nice defense of 676, which is actually really nice for level 35, and it makes a great choice for mercenaries. Now, one of the things that we have to talk about with the Spirit Forged Link Mail is socket options. So the Spirit Forged Link Mail always comes with 2 sockets. You don't have to take it to Larzik. It just comes with 2 sockets for free, and you can put anything you want in there. So what could you potentially put in there? Well, you're probably not going to put 1540s in there, but you could potentially put 15% IAS jewels in it, which would give your mercenary or your character a very nice bonus attack speed of 30%, which is certainly very nice. You could also potentially put shale runes in there to give your mercenary extra faster hit recovery, which, believe it or not, even just 20% faster hit recovery on an Act 2 or an Act 3 merc is a massive way that you can help them defensively. They have Act 2 and Act 3 mercs have among the worst faster hit recovery breakpoints in existence, literally to the point where it takes more than a half a second for them to recover. I'm pretty sure the Act 3 mercenary specifically has 17 frame breakpoint. So if you take 25 frames, which is a full second, and you put 17 over 25, that's how long it takes them to recover from a faster hit recovery stun, and that's why they end up dying all the time. Even just a mere 20% faster hit recovery has a huge benefit to them, so putting in like 2 shale runes in this would certainly help it a ton. Like, for instance, I could take 2 shale runes and put it inside this particular armor, and you'll notice that once we do that, we've got a nice 40% faster hit recovery, a decent amount of life, plus strength, and even a little bit of extra fire damage with some decent defense. It's not a bad option. but neither is the 15% IAS jewels, which give you that really nice 30% increased attack speed on there as well. So it kind of depends on what you're running. If your mercenary already has increased faster hit recovery from, like, maybe he's running an obedience polearm or something like that, you might not need the faster hit recovery, and so it might be better off just to throw some plain 15% IAS jewels in there, get the nice IAS bonus. You could also just do rubies. I mean, you could enhance the life bonus even more. 2 rubies in there along with the life bonus that it already has would actually be kind of nice. There's a lot of options that you can go with for the Spirit Forge Link Mail, and a 30% IAS armor is definitely not terrible, especially with the additional fire damage, the strength, and the life that's on it. The only real downside to this armor, though, is it doesn't have a lot of resistances, and you will be going into nightmare difficulty with this armor, which could potentially be an issue. Let's go ahead and upgrade this bad boy, and let's see how it upgrades to the elite version. Kind of interested to see how the defense goes up. To do that, we're going to need a Lem rune and a Co rune. And we're also going to need a perfect diamond. I do have 2 lemon co's. Great. And I've got another perfect diamond. So this armor is going to upgrade from 449 defense, 74 strength, level 35, to the Spirit Forge Diamond Mail of 1,219 defense, 131 strength requirement, which is not bad at all, and level 61. That's actually not a bad upgrade. The defense went up very nicely, and the strength requirement didn't go up so high that it's insane. 131 is still quite a ways below, for instance, say 156 for a Spirit Monarch or something like that. And, the unfortunate downside of this armor is that at level 61, you've got other armors that come into play, like Treachery, and Fortitude is starting to come into play, and things like that. And so it might not necessarily be the best armor around this tier. But if you were doing a solo self-found and you didn't have anything else, it could be an interesting choice. The ethereal version might be a little bit more sexy with 676, 64 strength, level 35, to 1,515, 121 strength, and level 61. And not bad on the defense there. This could make a really nice stopgap piece of equipment for a mercenary for quite some time, I think, until you manage to put together perhaps a Treachery or a Fortitude or something like that for your mercenary. I mean, the extra life and the strength is definitely nice. The strength in particular could be very useful to equip early on, like a Ethereal Colossus Fulge to your mercenary, so you have that really nice Colossus Fulge Insight polearm, which a lot of people like to do like a really early ladder. In fact, just about anything with plus to strength is going to help you out a little bit. And then, of course, you could replace this later on with an Andy's Visage, and that way you would have the strength that you need later on. But the thing is that usually really early ladder, you're kind of just like scraping together like whatever you can get your hands on. And so an item like this, which is decent for a mercenary and has plus to strength, could definitely come in handy in certain situations. Let's take a look and see where we could potentially find ourselves a Spirit Forge linked mail over on Silos Pen, and just get an idea of how difficult it would be to find this item. All right, so here we are over on Silos Pen, and I'm going to assume about 150% magic find since it's a level 30 item. 35. It's like it's right there at the end of Nightmare difficulty. I feel like that's a decent number. Let's take a look at the bosses first. And again, we're going to ignore the quest flags. Mephisto in Nightmare looks like the best bet, but at level 35, you're not going to be fighting Nightmare Mephisto. That's way too early. Way too late in the game for a level 35 character. And this is a big issue with a lot of these Nightmare level uniques, is they just really don't drop from the right monsters. It does look like, though, Andariel in Nightmare has a pretty decent chance at 1 in 1,542. And you could be fighting Nightmare Andariel at level 35. It would be a little bit of a rush, and you might have a little bit of trouble with it, depending on which character you're on, because level 35 is a little low for Nightmare. But I have taken characters into Nightmare at level 35 successfully. It would just be a little bit of a tight squeeze. Duriel in Nightmare also drops this item, but not a particularly good non-quest chance at 1 in 4,797. Let's take a look at the super uniques real quick. And you know what? Let's restrict it to Nightmare difficulty so we can filter out some of these hell monsters. So Nightmare Cow King could potentially drop it, which isn't like a terrible farming option. So if you can get somebody else to make the portal for you, but you might have a little bit of trouble in Nightmare Cows at level 35. It depends on your character. Some characters obviously can progress faster than others. Radamant in Sewers level 3 has a pretty crappy chance. And I'm not seeing a lot of monsters in Act 1. And the chances of these are just terrible, too. I mean, Pindleskin and Nightmare, 1 in 14,000. I mean, he's easy to farm, but obviously that's the end of the difficulty. So, honestly, you know, looking at this objectively, it really does seem like Nightmare Andy's your best bet. And Nightmare Andy's a pretty good farm anyway, so it's not like you would be negatively affecting your drops. She can drop Soges, she can drop Nagels, she can drop Mantled Heels. She can also drop quite a few good unique items that can help launch you into Nightmare difficulty successfully. So not a bad farm, and honestly probably the best farm for this particular item. Normal Diablo is not on the list, otherwise I would suggest him for a level 35 character, but it doesn't look like he is capable of dropping it. Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, and keep watching.